All right, we're going to roll into our post-race media availabilities here in Martinsville for today's Xfinity 500. We are now joined by Denny Hamlin, who is locked into the Final Four, headed to Phoenix next week. We will take questions for Denny. If you have a question, raise your hand, state your name and affiliation, and we'll take as many questions as we can in the time that we have available with Denny. And who would like to kick us off? All right, we'll go to Jeff.
I mean, did you sense that was coming from contact was coming from him before it happened? Did you feel like it was inevitable, or?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think he sent us on the first lap after the restart. He just pushed us all the way until we got into the shit in 3 and 4. So that didn't work. I got back position on him, and then he just kept running into us, and I finally just moved up and said, all right, fine, if you're better, just go pass. And I think he saw it wasn't going to be easy, so he just took the easiest route possible.
So, how do you view that, like, going forward? Because I guess he had said on radio at least that some incident at Texas you had, and you said, hey, I'll give you a ride on my plane to make up for it, or something like that. You were apologetic, and
what?
You had gotten into him at some point, and you said to make up for it, you'd give him a ride on your jet, is what he said.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess you're more even than that now in his view. But
okay.
Anyway, I mean, how do you race him going forward? I mean, you have a championship to race for, so.
Yeah, I mean, you just you find ways to settle it.
All right, additional questions for Denny downstairs? All right, we'll go upstairs. Are there any questions upstairs? Go ahead.
Denny, just your race in general to start. In the back today, you said that you were pretty confident you could make it all the way front. Just how much patience did it really take for you? At least how satisfied were you in doing what you said you would do by being able to get up there and fight for a victory?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we've just been really strong on these short tracks. No matter how far we're down in horsepower, how much better Hendrick cars are in general, we're fighting and we're clawing and we're still finding ourselves with a shot to win each week. And so I knew that our 750 program in general has just been a lot better than the 550 this year. Some of the advantages that the Chevys have. It's not as big. It doesn't show up as much on tracks like this. So you're able to just kind of, finesse your way around the track. Obviously it wasn't ideal starting in the back, but I knew pretty early that, after an adjustment or two that it was a good enough car to go up there and contend.
All right, additional question upstairs, and then we'll go downstairs to Dustin. Go ahead.
Hey, Denny. Aaron McFarlane with the Roanoke Times. Denny, I mean, you're a native Virginian. You've had a lot of success here. You didn't do anything wrong today, I don't think. Are you surprised at the fan reaction to you? I mean, how you're getting booed right now?
It's just Chase Elliott fans, man. They're just they don't think straightly.
All right, Dustin, go ahead.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. A couple things. One, does that bother you?
No, not at all. They're going to boo the shit out of me next week, I can tell you that.
A couple other things is early in the race when you were back in the back, the 6-car incident. How close was that? How much?
It was close. It was closer than I certainly wanted to be, for sure. That's the tough part when you get back there. It's just you're not worried about really yourself causing an incident or whatever. It's just back there those guys are fighting and bouncing off of each other. I mean, on lap 10 they're just door slamming, and it's just a different type of racing back there. So you really try to just tread lightly as you can, and I think one of them hooked the other one. So that was the biggest concern I had. Was just getting caught up or getting the grill knocked in early in the race.
Also, while I understand it's not one-on-one, I know you got a teammate and Kyle has a teammate, but the after all this season to be racing Kyle and two others for the championship. With the way the season you and Kyle have had this year, what does it mean to have that opportunity and that chance to race your friend?
Yeah, I mean, I've said for many, many weeks now that it would be a disservice if someone other than the two of us didn't win. I mean, he's obviously probably the most deserving over the course of the year that he's had from start to finish. But yeah, but the format, you just never know. You never, it nearly all ended right there in turn 3, for silly reasons. But it's, that's why, I always preach about, I wish the sample size was bigger. You don't have somebody else mistakes that can take you out of what you've done for the whole season. But certainly, I think, when you look at the 4 that are in it, I think it's the best 4 that you could possibly put in that race. So I think all of them would be deserving champions. Obviously, Kyle would make the most sense.
All right, Denny, thank you for hanging with us for a few minutes and giving us your perspective. Best of luck next weekend in Phoenix. All right, we're going to continue with questions. We've now been joined by Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, who's making his way up front. And we'll continue with questions. I think we're going to go back to Dustin with another question.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Kyle, since you were there to hear Denny's response, just kind of your feeling. Again, I know you got a teammate, and there's still another, there's 3 other people, but the opportunity to race with Denny and also the reigning series champion for the title.
Yeah, definitely. As Denny mentioned, I think the way we both have performed throughout all the season, I'm glad to see us both with the opportunity to race for a championship, as well as Chase and everything he's kind of had to go through throughout this playoffs and being the past champion. As also, as Denny mentioned, I feel like the 4 most deserving teams are probably in the Final 4. So proud that we were able to do it, and look forward to battling everybody next week.
All right, additional questions? Are there any questions upstairs for Chase or Kyle?
No.
Any questions downstairs? All right. Go to Jeff or Dustin, then Jeff. However you guys want to share the mic.
Chase, to get to this point, it certainly has been a up and down playoffs for you at times. What has the 9-week journey been like to get to this opportunity to have the chance to defend your championship?
Yeah, well, it certainly hasn't been pretty. But at the end of the day, having a shot next week is really all that matters. And frankly, I feel like you make it to Phoenix and it's anybody's game. So getting out there and being a part of the Final 4 is a really big deal. It's really hard to do. I'm really proud of my team for continuing to push through and battle some adversity and, just keep fighting. I got a great group, and I don't want to go to battle with anybody else. So just really proud of my group for not only today, but just the whole run. And our eyes are on Phoenix now, and we can focus on going out there and putting together a solid race, which I know we're very much capable of doing. And I'm excited for the opportunity.
All right, Jeff, go ahead.
I don't know if there's any explanation for this at all, but I mean, it seemed like 440 laps were pretty straightforward. Like, fastest cars were up there, and you guys were, racing it out. And then, 60 to go, just everything changed. It was chaos. Like, is there any explanation for why some things suddenly switch in a race like that?
I mean, desperation, I guess, and some people needing to win. Restarts, guys, might find themselves in a little different position than they've been in all day. I don't know. I'd say the biggest thing is just the need to win for some guys, I would have to think, but I'm probably not an expert either.
All right, any final questions for Chase or Kyle? Okay, we'll wrap with Dustin, and then, in the back. Go
Dustin
ahead.
Long, NBC Sports. Chase, the contact from the 2-car, I mean, you just talked about desperation. Was that kind of what you expected, or is that even crossing the line in a situation like that from your point of view?
I mean, it's tough. I was racing him hard on the outside, so, I wasn't super surprised that he made a mistake. I mean, as hard as he hit me, I knew he didn't just, clean me out on purpose. I figured he wheel hopped or something. I haven't seen it, but I mean, really moving on was all that mattered. And I had made some bad choices on adjustments and kind of got us behind. So the real reason that happened was because I made a bad decision on what to do to our car, and we started playing defense. And when you start playing defense, you typically start crashing a lot of times, especially when guys need to win. So I blame myself for leading us down the wrong path more than anything, and I didn't think it was on purpose either. So all good.
All right, go ahead.
Michael Massey with Front Stretch. Chase, I don't know if you heard what Denny said when he was in here or not, but he said the people booing him were Chase fans and that they don't think straightly, to quote him. How does a comment like that make you feel that he kind of took a shot at your fan base?
I'm going to lose so much sleep tonight. Like, I might not sleep at all. That's how concerned I am.
All right, we're going to go.
My fans don't care either, by the way.
Clearly.
All right, we're going to go upstairs for an additional question. And just for everyone here, Martin Truex Jr. has joined the table as well. So go ahead.
Bruce Martin from Speed Sport. Martin, the damage on your front end, how concerned were you that it could cause a tire failure? And how did you drive the thing as fierce as you did without causing it to get worse?
Yeah, I was really worried as soon as it first happened because I felt like the contact was very, very minimal, but I felt the tire pulling on the steering wheel, so I knew I had a tire rub, and I obviously seen the smoke, and so I was really worried at that point. But ran 2 or 3 laps, and the guy said it looks a lot better, and it looks like it's going to be fine. So at that point your bed's kind of made. You have to stay out there and pray and hope that it doesn't go flat, and then from there just we're able to just fight and battle, and got run into, knocked out of the groove once, and put in the wall once off of 2 at the same time just after that, and then luckily we were able to have 2 good restarts at the end and get in the right lanes and make up some spots. So definitely was worried, but luckily it held together there.
All right, additional questions upstairs? All right, we'll come back downstairs. We're going to go to Alex and then up front to Jim Utter. Go ahead, Alex.
Alexandra with the Charlotte Observer. For Kyle, the multiple speeding penalties, was that just a product of like having the speedometer set up differently, and especially when you were kind of on Denny's bumper at that one, why was that?
Just being too aggressive and being, I think, locked in. I guess you could be a little bit more aggressive. So yeah, I don't know, just mistakes on my part. Nothing. When I was on Denny's bumper, it's not where I sped either. So I sped once leaving my stall and then once coming into my stall. So just was too aggressive in the corners.
Then why were you on Denny's bumper at that one?
Because you want to be as close to the guy in front of you as you can to shorten the distance up.
All right, additional questions. We have one up front with Jim. Mike, Jim.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. For Martin, you seemed like you could have gone through a season's worth of emotions like in the last 50 laps or so. Did you even have time to assess everything that was going on? And how important did you feel that the choose decision on the last restart was going to be for your situation?
Yeah, it's never an easy situation to be, kind of on your last run of the race and be, kind of in 1 minute, out the next. So, there's not a whole lot you can do other than drive. And, like I said, fortunately we were able to gather ourselves up there and make a pass and we actually got in a good spot before the last 2 cautions came. I think we were in by 1 point or something at that point, and luckily just able to have 2 good restarts. So, in those situations, it's all you can do. Thinking about it and worrying about it doesn't do you any good. You just got to try to go and hit your marks and do everything you can to get the most out of your race car. So luckily, we were able to do that. And then, like I said, the last 2 restarts were critical, but the last one for sure because, the 18 was second. And if he would have, got to the 48 and knocked him out of the way like he did to the 11, then, Kyle's in and we're out. So needed to try to stay close to the front there. And luckily we were able to, start there on the second row and hang on to that spot, which was critical.
All right, additional questions? Go ahead, Jeff.
That huge piece that was like hanging off your left front, was that wasn't rubbing your tire? Like
it was close. the fender rubbed, I think, behind the tire a little bit early on, and then it kind of clears itself. So I just made sure I not swerve the tires under caution. They told me don't swerve the tires under caution, and I think you're going to be all right. So that's what I did, and it worked.
You don't feel anything. I mean, you just see it flapping around there, and you're just like, okay.
I actually couldn't even see it where it was. It's so low, it was in the front, so couldn't really see it there. But I felt it when it first happened. Like I said, I mean, you feel it rubbing the tire and pulling on the steering real hard. And the first time I come off the corner with it, off of turn 4, it about pulled the wheel out of my hand. And I said, "Oh, something's bad wrong." And then from there, it just got better. 2-3 laps later, it was, you couldn't feel it anymore. You just knew that you're worried because you knew it was rubbing at some point.
And then when you slam the wall on the backstretch,
Got slammed into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that.
I don't know. I have no idea how we finished 4th.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket on the way home.
All right, I believe we have a question in the back.
I'm not sure. I know I passed the one car.
Trey Lyle, Virginia Talk Radio Network. This is a question for all three of you. Obviously, the dominant two teams this year have been Hendrick and Gibbs, and now it's an all Hendrick and Gibbs championship for. Just talk about the dynamic between these two teams all season, kind of battling with each other. And then a question for Chase. You talk about not having a lot of sleep tonight. What will happen if the Braves win tonight?
Yeah, it'd be great. Pulling for them for sure. I kind of want to go, to be honest with y'all. So I'd love to go home and go down there, but no, I go home and watch and pull for them and see what happens. But obviously, like I said a minute ago, more than anything, just proud of my team today, and haven't been super pretty, but we have a shot at it, and that's all that matters at this point. So looking forward to the next 7 days and seeing where we stack up.
All right, additional questions? Any questions upstairs for one final time? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's me again. Is this round almost more hair-raising, anxious, high anxiety than even next week's race?
Yes.
Explain why. Is it because it's Martinsville?
No, I mean, it's just 8 guys. It's like the 8 best guys of the year trying to will it down to 4. And it's going to be tight. It's going to be close. Every spot's going to matter. Unless you're Kyle Larson, you won 30 races this year, it's going to be close. So, 29, sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's, you just know it's going to be close. And then you come down to Martinsville and it's going to be a nail biter, which it was. So, next week is, it's a damn honor and a pleasure to get to race for championships, and only 4 of us get to do it. So it's a fun week, and it's definitely a lot less pressure than trying to go 4 to 8 or 8 to 4, I should say. Sorry.
All right, one final question from Alex, and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, this is kind of a 2-part question, but first for Martin, were you expecting, I guess, the speed that Hendrick showed, not just between these two, but like all 4 guys pretty much?
I mean, I'm not surprised as fast as they've been all year, and then, they've typically been pretty good here. So, 9's always been strong here, and the 24's been pretty good the last few trips, and now the 48's really, really fast, and the 5 was really fast as well, which is not surprising. They're all, they've all been super fast all year, so we had our hands full with them today, but, hopefully next weekend we can find a little bit of something and give them a run for their money.
And then how much of a factor, I guess, next week for all of you guys, do you expect like the 48 and 24 to be a factor as well?
Probably. I mean, they're fast, so I'd say they'll be, probably around there.
All right. Martin, Kyle, Chase, thank you guys for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck next week in Phoenix.